What are you guys all doing here? Don't you guys got lives? You should be home. We could have done this on Zoom or something. Merry almost Christmas. All right. Don't pull any punches. Let's do this. Here we go. Who's up?
What's the biggest challenge that the Bears defense faces?
I think they got a really good D-line. I think they got some guys up front that are difficult to move and really are good pass rushers. I think they do a nice job pressuring the quarterback. And I think really for them it starts up front, and they do a good job of keeping it simple, but getting those guys vertical, keeping them in twist games. And, they do a really nice job.
Short turnaround focus on the Bears. How do you balance physical, mental, getting the players ready for short turnaround?
These guys are pros. I think that's the biggest thing you got to lean on is for these guys, you just got to have them mentally right and ready to play and prepared, and then have their bodies right. So you got to take care of them physically and do all the right things so that they're, ready to go out and play with a ton of energy on Thursday night. I think that's one of the biggest challenges from playing a game on Sunday, obviously, to Thursday. So especially a road game where you got to get on a plane tomorrow and travel. So I think we've done a good job. Mike's done a great job of setting up the schedule and trying to get the guys fresh.
Mike, Ryan, what was your view of the interception at the end of the game?
Just stuff we got to clean up. We're working through those things, and Gino had a guy kind of in his face right at the end, and tough play.
And the third sack, I think it was at the 37 in the fourth quarter. What needed to happen better on that play?
Obviously you want the protection to hold up as long as you need it to, and for Gino to completely be able to get through the read. He had gotten through a similar progression earlier and hit Lockett and made a really nice completion on that one. So I think the thought process was similar there, and obviously they didn't hold up quite long enough and took a really tough sack there.
And I know we've asked you a million questions about the running game, but the Seahawks had some success early in that game a little bit, and then the numbers ended up, the run-pass numbers ended up a little bit.
Yeah, they did. You'd love to be able to finish out the game with the run game, and thought the guys did a good job fighting back to get in the game, and got a little bit lopsided there. We had some injuries at running back as well, so there's a few things that were working in play there that trying to figure out who's going to be available in the game and things like that. So we were battling a few things on that front, but I thought the guys did a good job moving the football when they needed to.
Mike mentioned, though, there was also the kind of the give and take that, especially on some first downs, and Minnesota gave you some looks where they're expecting the run maybe, and you guys were able to make some big plays in the passing game.
Did a great job with that. Guys executed at a really high level on some of those plays where we got them into some tough run looks and threw the ball, and then vice versa as well. So those are the things you want to keep building on. And we are, and I think we're getting better in a lot of those areas. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out like we wanted it to. But there were some things that operationally we did as good as we've done all year on some of the checks and the moves that we made, and really, really elite stuff against a really good defense on a team that's played at a high level defensively. Coach Flores does a fantastic job, and some of the things that the guys were able to accomplish in that game was things we haven't been able to do all year. Obviously, the operational stuff, some of the turnovers, those are things that you have to keep addressing and working on, and I know that we will. You wish they didn't show up, but they did, and so we have to keep working that, and I know the guys will. But like I said, there's probably a dozen plays that we did some things that we haven't been able to accomplish all year, and was really proud of that, and just got to keep building that. I think there's moments. Obviously, moments don't win you football games. You have to have extended and continuous success, and those are the things that we got to keep doing, and building that continuity and consistency.
The kind of run game you had really going for you against Arizona, I know you just didn't have as many opportunities in this past game, but is that something you feel like is at your disposal every week, or is that something that's more opponent specific?
A little bit of both. That's a fair question. I think that there certainly is things that each defense defends better than others, whether that be gap scheme or zone scheme. And some teams are you're kind of swimming upstream on certain schemes that they're really, really both schematically and maybe physically set up to stop and defend really, really well. So you got to plan for those things and work through it. But I think that there's components that should be there every single week, that we got to be able to line up and run those type of plays every week.
Earlier today, AJ said that there was this narrative about him coming into the NFL that he could only be a blocking tight end. What have you seen from him, especially with the catch in the end zone?
Who did you say again?
AJ Barner.
AJ? Oh, well, shoot, I didn't think that when we drafted him, but I think AJ's a great athlete. I think he has really good ball skills. I think that one of the things that makes him great is that he is a really, really willing blocker, and that's part of what opens up some of the pass game opportunities for him is, how physically he plays in the box, and, that generates some of those opportunities for him. But, yeah, we totally trust him with the ball coming his way. He is instinctive in a lot of ways. I think he does a great job of, listening and learning. I know Gino always has things that he points out to him about, route running and where he's sitting and anticipating zones. So I think he's just going to get better in that facet for sure.
What's the challenge of building a plan with your run game this week with some of the injury situations you guys are dealing with?
Yeah, I don't think that personnel wise we should have any limitations. We should be able to keep building those things up front. We're in good shape. So I think you just focus more on the offensive line and maybe less on the runners.
Anything else?
All right, thanks everybody. Merry Christmas.